audacity, eh? Somebody who's never been to America, was never born and raised here, don't know the local ways of expressing things, cultural ways of expressing things, don't even understand this whole idea, never heard the whole idea of Blackness. Hello, friends. Welcome again to the channel. Shout out to all my subscribers. Welcome if you are new here. We appreciate you. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss an episode. And also, we appreciate you sharing it with others who might find this content useful. This is a place where we talk about adjustment challenges in the immigrant experience after you leave your birth country and is adapting to life abroad. Today, we're going to share a few videos actually, about this whole idea of being Black. And I talk about this in my book, Decoding America. You can find it online, worldwide, anywhere books are sold. I talk about my personal journey and dealing with people who look like me, other melanated people who look like me, who thought that I didn't act Black enough. All the labels. This idea of being Black is an American thing. And I talk about this idea of American exceptionalism in the book as well. And the idea that people from the US think that the way they see the world is universal and that everybody else around the world should carry and take on the same perspective that they have. The video here today, this lady from Nigeria, who is a well-known author, she's going to give her own personal experience learning about this term and how it was new to her. And now that she has the understanding and words and the language, she can identify as being Black. So a lot of these people online who are saying they're not Black, I would caution you to not be so judgmental, because a lot of time I think people simply do not understand what the term means, because it's not something that a lot of people grew up hearing or even understanding. It's something they have to learn when they come here to the United States. So listen to these two folks here.
Because in Nigeria, I didn't think of myself as Black, because nobody thinks of themselves as Black in Nigeria. We have many problems, but race is not one of them, because I guess most people in Nigeria are Black. In many West African countries, we don't have race as an identifying part of us. So when I went to the US, all I had thought of myself was a Catholic and Igbo, and Nigerian, of course. But then in the US, people would just say things to me about being Black, and I would think, I don't even know what that means. But most of all, it was that I started to learn that Black wasn't a value-free idea. That to be called Black was that people made assumptions about you. There was a professor who was surprised that I wrote the best essay in class. And I realized that he was surprised because he didn't expect a Black person to write the best essay. And so for me, it was a learning process. Of course, now I very much identify as Black.
The only thing that pisses me off is this one video of this one Somali kid that literally, it's been around for like 2 years. He goes, hey, I want to, with his twists, he goes, hey, I want to tell you guys that Somalis are not Black. We're not Black. You know, I'm from Somalia. I am not Black.
I don't care if I'm the first person to say this, but us Somalis are not Black.
Which was the dumbest shit someone could ever say. It was so stupid. You're not Black? You are Black. You're Somali, but you're Black. Because Africa is really a Black continent. You understand? You are Black. You're Somali and you're Black. Nigerians are also Black. And he was saying that Somalis aren't Black like other Western Africans. What the f is that? Because he brought in some South Africans, some old hillbilly ass South Africans to come live in America to increase the white population. And he just said that your country stinks. So that's an indication that you're Black, which is up that you don't recognize. And remember, this is not the whole Somali community at all, because I back you up. But that one video, which I'm showing, I don't know if there's a small group of people that think that they're not Black in Somalia. Well, you are. You definitely are. You understand where I'm coming from? I think it's horrible and disrespectful, but like I'm saying, I got your back, and all of Africa should embrace all Africans, East, West, South, Central. I don't give a shit. I'm not Black bullshit. Come on, you know, I know Black, I know Black. You know what that means. All right, y'all figure that shit out.
This guy is so funny, but he seems to have such an issue with He's shown some videos about people from the Dominican Republic and now Somalis, and there's probably other groups as well. But this whole idea of being Black is such an American thing. And when I see these videos, I really understand the complexity, politics and race, and there's so many topics here in this country that are not easy for somebody who's a newcomer. And a lot of times people miss the nuances. And so I would say not to rush to judgment and to offer some grace to some people. This young man looks like he probably was born in the US to Somali parents. I don't know the truth of whether he came over younger, but he just looks like he's been here for a little bit. These conversations are not really happening in immigrant communities because people don't even have the language to understand what the whole idea of Blackness is. The fact is that people who do understand, it's only now recently that there's a lot of people on social media talking about it. But there's a lot of judgments around people not identifying as such. And it's because people just weren't raised in environments where these are words that they use to describe themselves. So it's national origin always, right? So the country you're from, again, connected to the country that you're now living in. And so this whole idea of whiteness and Blackness is such an American thing. And I just always caution people, just read up about the whole idea of American exceptionalism. The way that you see the rest of the world is not full stop, period. There is, you also need to educate yourself about the different cultures and educational systems that exist around the world and how people describe themselves, and how for people who are new to the US, that these terms and colloquial ways of expressing and this whole idea of Blackness or whiteness, I know it's not necessarily like a local lingo. It's on the public scene, it's in the educational system. It's a broad concept, but a lot of people, it's so complex, people just don't understand. And so I'm just hoping to have some conversation around this whole topic so we can talk more about it. But any case, thanks for watching. I'm wondering what you guys think about this whole idea of Blackness. Do you identify as being Black? Are you a melanated person in the African diaspora? Do you identify as being Black? Have you ever been told that you're not Black enough because you come from another place, you express differently, you show up differently, you carry yourself differently? And so because you don't fit a certain narrative in the whole Black community, all of a sudden you're not accepted in the African diaspora because you're not Black enough. It's hilarious to me. But I say there are biases on both sides. There's biases in the native folks who are here, and there's biases on the part of newcomers who are coming in because we don't understand each other. We're coming from two different worlds. And so I'm just hoping that we can start conversations of understanding, that people can learn about each other's culture, and we can all come away from this with a better understanding of the different environments and cultures that we were all raised in. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts and comments down below. We'd love to hear them. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the video. It does help the algorithm push our stuff out to people who need to hear these conversations. Thanks so much.